So consumer publishing, off the book publishing, it's actually 50%. So the overall market, if I start giving out some numbers, is about $122 billion as of 2014. And globally, this market is, again, it's a PwC forecast to say that it's growing at a CAGR, which is a compound annual growth rate over the next 5 years at 1%. So this $122 billion worth of industry is expected to grow to about $128 billion by 2018. Professional publishing have got an electronic component, and that is growing at a very higher, much faster rate. So electronic consumer publishing is actually growing at 17%. But of course, the base is small. It's only 8 billion of the 63 billion market there. As against the global growth rate of 1%, India is actually growing at 6%. So if there are any other numbers that you see in the press, take that with a skepticism there. And for my fellow Indians, the market size in Indian rupees is about 14,000 crores, of which about 4,000 crores is consumer publishing, and about 9,000 crores actually is education. So education, the share in publishing is larger than the global share of education in the global publishing.
And what we're seeing is, and what's going to be interesting to see is what we call the first generation digitalists, what they go to. So we're starting to see smaller publishing companies starting up as digital only. And I'll come on to the impact of that later and what that might have in store for us. But certainly it's going to be interesting to see what these companies do. We had an interesting year in terms of sales last year. So total sales overall in the UK were down. And this was mainly impacted by print, as can be expected. E-book sales were up 18%, which sounds like a lot. But certainly over the last 5 years, we've seen a massive surge from a very low base, where we saw in the first year of e-book sales up 600% to where we are now, an increase of about 18%. But now there's been a resurgence in the bricks and mortar bookstores. So Waterstones, our major chain, had a big resurgence last year, and print seems to be back in fashion. And I think the bookshops themselves, who were wondering how they were going to cope with this competition between print and e, are now feeling much more confident about their future.
Another innovation that Flipkart has been known for, we initiated in India, we've been a pioneer for, is on the payment side, which was cash and delivery. This really revolutionized the way people perceived online as a channel, and we've gained trust of a number of customers to the extent that today a lot of customers who started with cash and delivery kind of payment option, a lot of them are today customers who have kept their credit card details with us and have become prepaid customers. But we still believe that these kind of innovations are what can drive new customers to us. So if you see in digital today, this is still one of the constraints we see, because people have the option of only paying through credit cards, and a lot of people are still not comfortable doing that.
Then I read this phrase by one of your writers, S.Chand, was, I think, assisting the Jaipur festival, and he said that the pressure to be commercially successful, that is what is driving it now, which is more or less one sentence that could be applied to each of our markets, which means that we are doing a lot of efforts. I mean, at least the trade market publishers, the fiction publishers, non-fiction publishers, we're doing a lot of efforts to offer a huge range of diversity. We have in France, and that's true, a huge variety, huge diversity of that offer, through physical form, through digital forms, through all the booksellers, from all the publishers, and we are one of the countries in the world, even maybe the first country in the world, to welcome other languages.
From the editor to the salesperson, to the marketing person, to the social media person, to the author, everybody together accomplishes what would individually, independently have been done in very separate ways by different departments. It's a coming together that's really exciting for us. Editors are thinking like marketing people, sales guys are thinking like marketing folk, marketing people are thinking like sales and editorial people. There's a there's an energy to this publishing world which is very new. In India, the other big part of the job would be, I think, to say, how do we make our multiculturalism and our multilinguistic abilities come alive? Publishing in English is certainly eating into publishing in the other languages. People are being drawn into reading English, making it their first language for very practical purposes, because there are enough good reasons to do that. But there's very little encouragement then of reading your mother tongue, studying in it, writing in it. And again, I think if we can do a lot more attractive, I don't know, even glamorous publicity for languages, make it somehow seem like something young people need to do and should do. You can't keep the government responsible for everything. I mean, it's not the government's job to make sure that you also read some poetry at home and, keep your imagination alive. That's not for the state to do. The state can support it.